The Lion and the Mouse. Once upon a time, there was a huge lion who lived in a dark, rocky den in the middle of the jungle. When the lion wasn't out hunting, he loved to curl up in his den and sleep. In fact, as his friends knew, if he didn't get enough sleep, the lion became extremely grumpy. One day, while the lion lay sleeping as usual, the little mouse thought he'd take a shortcut straight through the lion's den. The little mouse lived with his family in a hollow at the bottom of a tall tree, just on the other side of the lion's rocky home. He was on his way home for supper and didn't want to have to climb up and over the big boulder surrounding the den. What harm can it do, he thought. He's snoring so loudly, he'll never hear me. As he hurried past the snoring beast, he accidentally ran over the lion's paw. With a mighty roar, the lion woke up and grabbed the little mouse in one quick motion. "How dare you wake me up?" the lion roared angrily. "Don't you know who I am? I am the king of the beasts. No one disturbs my sleep. I will kill you and eat you for my supper." He opened his huge mouth wide. Shaking with fear at the sight of the lion's sharp, pointed teeth, the terrified little mouse begged the angry lion to let him go. "Please, your majesty," he cried, "I didn't mean to wake you up. It was an accident. I was just trying to get home to my family. I'm too small to make a good meal for someone as mighty as you. Let me go, and I promise to help you one day." The grumpy lion stared at a little mouse. Then he laughed loudly. "You help me?" he said scornfully, shaking his furry mane. "Ha, ha, ha! What a ridiculous idea! You're too small to help someone as big as me." The little mouse trembled and closed his eyes as he waited for the terrible jaws to snap him up. But to his surprise, the lion didn't eat him. Instead, the lion smiled and opened his paw. "Go home, little mouse," said the lion. "You have made me laugh and put me in a good mood, so I will let you go. But hurry before I change my mind." The little mouse was very grateful. "Thank you, your majesty," he squeaked. "I promise to be your friend forever, and I won't disturb you again." As quickly as he could, the little mouse scurried home. What a story he would have to tell his children! A few days later, the lion was out hunting in the jungle. As he crept stealthily through the lush undergrowth, he smelt something delicious. There, in a small clearing just ahead of him, stood a goat, eating the grass beneath a shady tree. The lion circled the clearing, slowly crawling through the tall grass. He crouched low, ready to pounce on the unsuspecting goat, when suddenly a net fell on him. He was trapped in a hunter's snare. The goat, bleating in terror, ran off into the jungle. The lion roared and tried to break free from the trap, but the more he struggled, the more he became tangled in the net. He was so angry that he let out the loudest of roars. Roar! The trees in the jungle shook with the terrible noise. Every animal for miles heard it, including the little mouse. "Oh no!" squeaked the mouse. "That's my friend the lion. He must be in trouble. I've got to go and help him." "Be careful, my dear," cried the mouse's wife. "Remember how big he is." The little mouse scurried through the jungle as fast as his tiny legs would carry him, towards the lion's mighty roar. Soon he came upon the clearing and the lion, tangled and trapped in the ropes of the hunter's net. "Keep still, your majesty," cried the mouse. "I'll have you out of there in no time." "You?" laughed the lion. The mouse ignored him and quickly started going through the net with his sharp little teeth. Before long there was a big hole in the net, and the lion squeezed through the ropes and escaped his trap. The lion held out his giant paw towards the little mouse. "Thank you, my little friend," he said humbly, bowing his huge head. I was wrong when I laughed at you and said that someone as small as you couldn't help me. You saved my life today, and I'm truly grateful." The little mouse smiled up at the lion. "You were kind enough to let me go before, and I promised I would pay you back one day," he squeaked. "It was my turn to help you." Side by side, the big lion and the little mouse walked back into the jungle. From that day on, the huge mighty lion and the tiny mighty mouse became the best of friends. The end.